Welcome to Pop Pod Weekly. My name is Anna.
Hi guys, it's Becca.
Okay guys, we're here for pop culture roundup. I didn't even want to say that because I feel like a lot of people do a pop culture roundup, but
Yes,
that's what it is, all right?
I know.
And we've got opinions. Okay, Pete Davidson has a new girlfriend.
I know.
Maybe. Does he?
No. At this
People
point,
are saying that he's dating Emrata.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I think him and Kim were contrived. Him and Emrata are at this point. It's like a thing he's doing.
Emrata and Pete Davidson together would be like so skinny. They're both so tall and skinny.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Have they been? No, I feel like that's way.
They could get tangled in the sheets.
They could get tangled.
They're gonna get tangled.
Yeah.
So Emrata is a 31-year-old model. She's always been like, oh my God, it was so funny because I saw her on Seth. Who is the late Seth Meyers? He has like a late night show, and he was like, I don't get the appeal of Pete Davidson, and she was like, you don't need to get the
Yeah,
he's funny, he's hot, people dig his nail polish, he's like I just love it when guys are like, I don't get it. It's like, yeah,
it's not for you.
It's not for you. Like, you can't control what women like.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Have you done all your Botox and you have all your makeup on?
Yeah.
And he looks like a scraggly old bum.
Yeah,
but
we
he
just
gets
want.
better.
Yeah, so it was just really funny because she was going on about how she thought Pete was really hot, and she totally got the appeal.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to stop saying he's not hot.
It's like, clearly people love him.
Yeah, clearly he's hot.
It's the same reason people love Tommy Lee, or they love
I think he's
Kid
hotter
Rock,
than Tommy Lee. Yeah,
like someone like, people like a little bad boy dirty, a little
and
edge.
Also, women aren't as superficial as men are, so we really like personality, and Pete has personality
and great teeth.
Yes,
right there,
which goes a lot. And he's tall,
and apparently he has a big D.
Yes,
which, I mean,
that
like, that's what. Okay,
us.
You know Charlemagne the God.
Yeah,
he was saying
yes,
that.
I do. Speaking of a
hottie. Yeah, so Charlemagne was talking about how when Kanye was like, when Kim first started dating Pete,
yes,
Kanye was like calling him up and being like, I hate Pete and his 10-inch dick.
Oh
like,
my God.
My wife has got this guy with a 10, and Charlemagne was like, okay, well, Pete's my friend, so stop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I loved Pete's interviews with
Charlemagne.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kanye was,
that is
I
so
guess
funny
it's
that
well
Kim
known that
did that.
people know what size his D is.
Yeah.
I have no clue measurements. First of all, I have details.
Yeah.
But I can tell, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
I can tell by the look of it if someone has a big D or a little D.
Yeah.
But the whole inches thing, I'm like, I'm such not a guy. Do people measure?
No, I feel like that's a guy. I feel like as a woman,
our producer says, yeah, they do.
Okay. So for all the men, we don't care. The only problem where we do care is I don't even want to say
micro.
Yes, is a micro. I don't want to be mean to
but
anyone.
There's a person for there's a penis for every hole.
That's true. That's
and a
true.
hole for every penis.
Actually, yeah, maybe. Yeah,
that's a kink too. I'm sure.
I'm sure it's a kink. Yeah.
Not to.
But as all of the female friends I've ever met, I've had maybe one or two have been like, it actually was too big, and I couldn't enjoy it because it was painful.
I need to hear who this was.
I know. Actually, it was. I'll tell you off air, but it was someone very recently just told me that, and I was like,
oh wow.
Wow, you're getting dick down at the age of with something. Anyways, and then, but I have heard also on the other side a few people that were like, it was micro. I had to.
Right, and there's nothing. We're not judge. Obviously, like people cannot control the sizes of their things, just like women cannot control certain things about their bodies, and so we never want to criticize.
No.
But I just thought it was hilarious that people all around
just know
the size of it.
It's
like
his marketing.
I've heard 9 inches and I've heard 10 inches, but the fact that Kanye knew the stats and was like freaking out really makes me laugh.
I love that Kim did that to him.
Yeah.
Tortured him in that way.
Yeah. And Kanye kept being like, he's not Kim's type.
I know.
It's like, relax.
I know. Like, and Kim
we know what kind of type he has.
Yeah.
Because he says he has a type.
Well, Kim clearly doesn't. Every guy she's dated has been like Kim, other than like the two athletes, but like her first husband was so different than Kanye.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's so
Chris, who is like very like quiet.
And like type
the
A,
opposite
and like
of Kanye,
a clean freak, and like no, Chris was messy, right? And Kim's a clean freak.
I love when Kim was married to Chris on the episodes. Like, there's one episode where they're like, "So is he moving in?" Like, and she's like, "I don't want his stuff at my house." Like, he's trying to send stuff. They're like, "He's your husband. Like, you're gonna need to move some of his stuff in." And that was like the line in the sand. She was like, "Actually, I need to get divorced."
Yeah, that was one of the only seasons I watched. It was like Kim and Courtney Take New York. I think that was when they first, and it was really funny because she'd be like, I don't want all of these ugly basketball shoes.
Yeah.
And there'd just be like tons of huge shoes
coming in hot to your closet.
And Chris also did this annoying thing that I don't like, is he'd always be like wrestling her. And like,
I know how that feels.
I know. And I hate
Not from my husband. My daughter likes to wrestle me and pin. She's extremely strong and it hurts.
Yeah. And he was like way too big. Like, remember when he threw her and she lost the diamond and everyone makes fun of her? But at the same time, if that was my boyfriend, I'd be like, can you not be like wrestling me up and throwing me into the water?
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, sidetrack on how annoying
he was. So, yeah.
Emrata, yeah, I think it's just Pete's brand at this point. He's branded that he's 10-inch. That's what his marketing team has been up to. I don't think they're really dating.
Speaking of Emrata, okay, her friend Julia Fox. Okay, I was listening to I do like listening to Ryan Bailey's podcast, So Good It's Bad.
Yeah, I like it.
It's really long, so but some people like really
Ryan.
long. Yeah, we love. I'm not going to criticize this podcast length because
there's an ear for every length.
There's an ear for every amount of podcast. But I admire the fact that he can shoot the shit for that long every single day. Like, oh yeah, God, he's perfect for podcasting.
You know what I was thinking about him? He has like really good energy because there's different types of podcasts and there is like a really common vocal fry type of podcast, and Ryan's always hyped.
He's hyped,
which is good,
and he's very genuine. And I find he's like earnest. Like he learns as he goes along. Yeah. Sometimes he says stuff that people are like, no, and he's like, okay, I'm learning.
He's like, okay, I know.
I like it. He's a girl's boy.
Yeah,
but but one thing I did disagree with him on, and this is again guys trying to tell girls what they like. Yeah. But he was like, I don't understand the appeal of Julia Fox. Like, how is her 15 minutes of fame still stretching out? Blah blah blah. And it's like, girl, she's just getting started.
Yeah, I know.
Like she's like I said, she's an actress. She's been in movies and shows and stuff. So she's a working actress. Uncut Gems. She's a working model.
Yes.
She is an influencer because if you're on social media every day influencing, then okay, so she has a voice and I like it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try to pin her as she was pathetic enough to date Kanye in his worst moment. And it's like, no, she had a whole career before that. Yeah. She's been funny and sassy. Like right before she started dating Kanye, she did Has anyone seen this Deadbeat Dad?
Yes.
If her dad. Familiar. Yeah.
I mean, not her dad. Her son's dad.
Yeah.
Ditched her.
And so she went on Twitter and posted a picture of him and said, has anyone seen this Deadbeat Dad? Which was pretty funny. And then he immediately got in touch with her and she was like, sorry guys, I got my child support though.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
So I like her for that. She's very like ballsy.
Yeah, and I just duetted one of her TikToks where she was saying that it's like ugly girl season.
Yeah, and she's committing to that. Yeah, she looks she's scary.
She's bleached her eyebrows. She goes real close up, right up in the camera. She doesn't use filters. Which I like. It's insane to me. I think what people like about her is looking at Kim Kardashian's highly filtered, highly manicured, perfect face. It's appealing to the eye. I like looking at Kim's face, but I can't relate to Kim's face. Kim's face just is actually commercialism at its highest. Every time I look at Kim's face, I think of all the money I need to spend. Like, ooh, I should get some Botox. Ooh, I should get that. I should get this hair products. I need to get my roots done. I need to get get my personal training sessions up. Right. I need to find that pill that she's taking.
Yeah, exactly.
Called Ozempic.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. So it just kind of makes you feel like it's commercialism.
And it's boring. Like, I think Instagram like lit that on fire to the point where people are just like, I'm tired of staring at, like, my girlfriend said it the other weekend. They were like, I can't see that freaking living room anymore. And I know exactly what they meant. Like, it's like that white living room that everyone shows on Instagram with like a little pom-pom.
Drinking their coffee out of their glass coffee mug, which I like aesthetics too, but yeah, it gets boring. Like, I need something else in my life.
Yeah, we've like hit a peak on like perfect aesthetics. It's almost like going back to more like let's get to a grungy phase.
Let's get grunge again.
Yeah,
you guys want to be grunge? I'll show you grunge. It's dirty. But the thing is, it's kind of inspiring me because I'm going to be 42 in how many weeks? 2 or something.
Yeah.
I'm a Sag.
Yeah.
December 3rd,
Saggy.
1980.
Yeah. One day after Brit.
Yeah, one day after Brit, and she's a year younger than me. But so I've been kind of like, I'm at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Do I start?
No pun intended.
No, I'm not a girl, not quite a woman.
Yeah, I know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm at a crossroads. Do I start doing a bunch of stuff to my face? Or do I just start being like that, like, yoga looking old lady who's wise?
I know. And you're not there now, but I know what you mean because I've been like teetering so long. I'm like on that decision. Do you go down the Botox road and you're like, okay, I'm signing up. I'm going to go every 6 months. I'm on my maintenance schedule, like the Kim Kardashian plan. I'm keeping everything fine tuned. Or do you just naturally let it
go? Because this is a thing. Everyone knows, I've said this on the podcast before, I've had Botox in my forehead, nowhere else, because I'm very paranoid about like getting it. First of all, even getting it in my forehead, I always have like anxiety for at least 24 hours of it like leaking into my eye and me having like a paralyzed eye and then being like, why did I freeze my forehead to have one eye?
Oh my God. Is that something that happens?
Yeah, it can happen. And then, so, and I've considered getting fillers and like, cause I don't have like nice Kardashian lips. I'm not a Kylie.
No.
And I don't wear lipstick, so I can't wear the liner.
I know.
I feel like if I wore lipstick, people would just be like, have you had a psychotic break?
No.
Because we've never seen you show up with makeup on.
We're not makeup people. We can't, we look better without makeup.
Says you.
Yeah.
See, I need her for my self-esteem. She always thinks that we look better than we do.
For me, and I feel like this is such a mom thing to say, like I think everyone looks so much prettier with less makeup. Every time when I see a full face, all I want to do is like get a face cloth and rub it off.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the mom in me.
Well, sometimes I'm completely makeup free. We're blonde, so there goes the eyebrows, there goes the eyelashes.
We do that. Okay, sorry,
it can look a bit creepy.
Sorry, when I say makeup free, let me clarify. When I say makeup free, I mean low light mascara, light color on your brows,
a little lash tint,
and then like some sort of like foundation. So that to
like
me
a CC cream.
Yeah, so like that. Sorry, it's not all natural, but like that to me is like, well, what we're working with these days. I feel like that is like that's makeup nothing. Pretty much. Yeah, that's
like oh my God. It's like people are like, I appreciate how brave and confident you are. And you're like, why?
I know.
Is it that
hideous?
Right. Like it's such an insult. And I know people have talked about this before with like body positivity. Like when I hate it when people are like, oh, she's so brave.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Because she's not skinny and she's alive. Like,
I know. Remember when that husband made that epic fail of
where he went on social media and was like, my wife is like the bravest woman ever,
and like I love her love handle, I love her regardless
of the fact that she's not thin.
He was like, I know she's a size 8, but I'm a hero because I'm
ignoring that.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that, and she's still my wife. Ugh, and everyone was like, gross. You idiot.
I know. Yeah, so I think it's gone too far in one direction that I'm just like, Actually, I was watching a clip from the Kardashians and Khloe was getting dressed for like maybe the Met Gala or something. And I was like, okay, this show is just one trigger after another. The guy goes, you're skinnier than the actual models. Like your measurements are smaller than the models' measurements that would be walking in the show.
Okay, so at this point, it's just Anna material, anorexia material.
Yeah, like this is like a pro Anna show.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, exactly. So what did she say? Was she happy about that?
Of course she is.
Yeah.
This is like her, like,
dream come true for some sad reason.
It's just watching. Anyway, I can't even articulate because it's so triggering for me and probably all women, especially women that grew up in the 90s, because New York Post just made a post saying heroin chic is back, and it showed pictures of Kim and Khloe Kardashian.
I would just like to say we said that before
we did say that. We knew it
3 months ago.
I knew it 3 years ago when like I'm like, everything that goes up must come down. Everyone's having a big booty and everything. I guarantee it's going to go back to stick thin, and the people that can afford to get their BBLs taken out are going to go and just shrink.
Yeah.
Or that can afford to. Apparently there's a shortage on Ozempic, which is the medication that Kim and Khloe have reportedly been taking, which is like a diabetic medication that makes you like
lose weight. It's for people that are overweight and have type 2 diabetes.
Yeah. So
but these people are using it.
Yeah. Now there's a shortage. So people with actually type 2 diabetes can't get it. There's also a shortage on Adderall. And I've been seeing on TikTok that like people that take Adderall for like ADHD are finding that their doses aren't working anymore. So they're wondering if they're like cutting Adderall.
Wow.
Like not dosing, like not making the pill powerful enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're just building a tolerance to it.
It also, back to the thing of Khloe, I'm like just shocked that they would even put that in there. Sometimes the Kardashians are so tone deaf that I'm like, okay.
The whole show is like about her being skinny, because remember when Kim was also like, Kylie and Kendall are worried about you because you're so thin. And she was like,
her eyes lit up?
Yeah, her eyes lit up.
Yeah, this is getting sad. I'm just thinking, if you've been a fan that's followed them all along, and then for them to just turn, like say that was a comforting place where you felt there was body diversity. Yeah. And then for them to completely shift to like a pro anorexic show pretty much. Because we know she didn't get there naturally.
No, I know they work out a lot.
That's just bullshit.
That's just one of the 20 things that you need to do. And when you have an eating disorder, you exercise a lot and you don't eat a lot.
Exactly.
It's like
they won't even birth their own children because they're eating disorders. I'm sorry. There's no reason. I'll give Kim a pass, fine. Because I guess something was wrong with her uterus. But I just find it highly convenient that also Khloe has a problem.
Right.
I don't know.
I know. And speaking of Botox again, it's like, this is one of the reasons that I'm taking a break and haven't had it in a while, is because I heard someone say it. They said that, okay, so if you've been getting if you get Botox for an extended amount of time, the muscles in your face lose their tone, right? Because just like if you stopped using your legs, the muscles in your legs would atrophy. So people's faces are starting to sag because they don't have any muscles in their forehead anymore. So that gives you like your eyelids start drooping, or your eyebrows, I would say. Your face starts drooping. And then I started noticing how different Kylie's face looks from she is like 22 or 23 now, and she probably started getting work done when she was like 17 or 18.
Yeah, I think she was 6. She's gone on record that she was 16.
Her face, a lot of people, I think work makes young, like if you're 20 and you're getting work done, it's going to make you look older, because the one thing you have when you're 20 is youth.
Yeah.
And that is your thing. You can have a beautiful, cutie, chubby face and freckles and tone to your skin, all those things that you just money can't buy.
No, and nothing.
All my freckles are age spots now.
Yeah, exactly.
My kids love to tell me.
I know.
But so it's just like,
nothing can beat that.
Right. So that youthful look. So if you have a 20-year-old who has lips done, all this stuff done, they just start to look like a 35-year-old because that's what a 35-year-old is getting work done. So anyway, it just ages you a little bit.
Yes.
No judgment.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in where people actually feel like they have to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now I feel like she's going to have to do some workouts on her face.
I know. I don't know how they're going to. Well, they're just, what it is you're just hooked into a system where then they're going to figure out something else for that. And you're just continuously paying.
Right. And I feel like a hypocrite criticizing someone's looks when we're talking about it, because I'm not trying to criticize. I guess I'm just asking a question of like, what are we doing to people's self-esteem and to people's faces? And what are we signing up for? Like, I've already heard and seen that if you get lip fillers for an extended period of time, it starts to migrate and you start to lose pigmentation. Yeah. So your lips will be the same color as the rest of your face and it will start to run up and down your face. So it's
terrifying.
So it can do permanent damage.
Yeah. No, I don't think we're criticizing anyone.
And there's not enough research yet because this is over the last 10 years.
Yeah. 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 But actually Botox has been around for a long time.
Yeah. I'm saying more for like people getting lip injections for Lisa Rinna, she's had them forever. But
I just clicked in. You know what they all have to do is they have to get a facelift.
Yes. Which actually is the only way that you can, like Teddy Mellencamp from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's the same age as me. She just got a facelift.
Yeah, probably because because Botox has been around since like the mid 80s.
Yeah, and she does look great.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's not something that you can get done. Like you can get fillers and Botox and everything in the world. Nothing, because I talk about this with my girlfriends that were in our 40s.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to beat gravity. Like, no, it's exactly. Just like, you can have a frozen forehead and it's still falling down to the ground.
Yeah. So you need to sign up for them. It's just the look is so unattainable. It's got so out of control.
Yes.
That you pretty much have to sign on for a facelift by the time you're 40. Who can afford to do that? Nobody can.
And who wants to put their life in danger by going under the knife?
I know. That's the other crazy thing.
Like, that's the other thing that people...
Which I know people
surgery is dangerous.
I know.
And, I mean, yes, if it's going... I have friends that have gone under the knife and had surgery.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm like...
And, there's certain things that happen to your body, maybe in childbirth, maybe from breastfeeding, that... It can be damaging to, like, sometimes people just have,
or not even, or just like you're born with something that you've hated your entire life. It gives you really low self-esteem.
Yeah,
so
I'm not against it.
I know,
but like, if you have to sign up for going under the knife like several times, like the Kardashians go under the knife several times a year. There's just no way they don't.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Yeah, you can't
because
change
they
your
look
body.
different. So like their actual proportions change. So I don't understand. That's not, and we all know diet and exercise can change your body, but you're still going to have your same genetic makeup.
No, their bodies are beyond what a workout. I hate when they say that. I wish do you know what I wish they would do is I wish they would be way more transparent.
Like when Kim went on Variety magazine, I forget what magazine it was, and said she's had no work done.
That's
nothing.
That's such a lot.
Like, I have to look it up. I don't think they asked. She must have said, "Don't ask me about my butt."
Yeah.
But they said everything. Like,
I bet there's certain things they don't consider work.
Right.
That must be, or she's just blatantly lying, one or the other, because they lie all the time too. I don't know. One thing I do think, I think the Kardashians are on their way out because we're just going into a time.
We say this every week and we talk about them every week.
I know it's true. I know. But I just see them falling because I think their inability to be authentic is going to increase as they get wealthier, and if they can even do that. Like, they're already holding back. Like, the fact that they're not showing their surgeries.
Well, yes. Okay, so right here it says Kim Kardashian claims she's never had surgery, only a bit of Botox.
That's so...
Like, how? Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's not true. I'm pretty sure she's had...
What does she say? Okay. I had a nutritionist. I had a trainer. Yeah, she lost 16 pounds to fit into the Maryland dress. Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, we need to stop talking about this.
They actually enrage me at this point.
I know.
Because I think it's also because we have daughters.
That's the thing. And that's what I mean. I'm not like, do what you want. Find the body that is comfortable for you, that you feel best in, that you have energy in, that you love. But at the same time, when they're daughters, like, okay, Kylie's daughter, what happens if she looks like Kylie?
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Kylie?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, honey, I just need to give you these 10 surgeries for you to.
But I think they will. That's why I think they're so dangerous, because they've just made it normal it's not normal to get a new head. Like Chloe got a new head.
Head transplant.
Yeah, and that's not normal. And they're normalizing
She's only had
it.
a nose job, she said.
Okay, whatever. Like, she looks like an entirely new person. Anyways,
we have to get off this topic.
I think they would just get a lot. I think it would just be better if they were more transparent, because I think it's dangerous for younger people to pretend that you can just work out and get a whole new head.
Right. Yeah. I saw a really funny meme with Kylie, and I forget what it was like. It was like, you're not ugly, you're just poor.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's like, it's not like anybody is prettier than anybody else. Some people just have money to fix it and some people don't.
Exactly. And maybe we're just old people, and like, this is the world we live in now, where you can buy a new head, and we're just not used to that.
I would just be really sad if my daughter modified her head.
Well, that, like, taking it back to Heidi Montag from The Hills, I remember when she told her mom, and her mom was like horrified. She was like, I thought you were the prettiest thing ever. Like, I remember her mom crying and being so horrified that she's like, I loved your nose and I loved your little chin.
I know. Okay, let's move on to Christina Applegate. Speaking of weight, she's gone the opposite. She gained 40 pounds and can't walk without a cane because she has MS.
Oh, no.
It's really sad. She finally got her, she got a star.
Yes, on the Walk of Fame.
On the Walk of Fame. And so on Monday, she made her first public appearance since revealing her MS diagnosis. Applegate reports that this was her first time out. A few months ago, she was diagnosed with MS. It's been a strange journey, she says, but she's been supported by the people around her.
She painted her nails FUMS. That's funny.
That's funny. Yeah. So she's been, that's what's going on with her. I didn't know.
Yeah, she looks really different. Oh yeah, she can't. Yeah. What a shame.
I know. I feel really bad for her. I was wondering, I hadn't seen her in a long time.
No, because she did a show on Netflix like not too long ago. I didn't watch it because it had something to do with death, and I don't find death entertaining at all.
Because you're just not a bad person.
No, I'm just like, it gives me anxiety. I'm
no,
like, let's
not
talk about it.
I'm kidding. That's like when we were listening to a lot of true crime podcasts when podcasts first came out.
Oh my God.
And then I was starting to have like nightmares. Oh my gosh, we need to talk about Killer.
Oh, Killer.
What was her name?
Sally.
Killer Sally.
Yes.
Which is a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
And she was a bodybuilder. I had no clue that there's this whole subgenre. So she was a bodybuilder who killed her husband,
yes.
her abusive husband.
Yeah.
She shot her abusive husband and ended up serving 25 years in jail. Mm-hmm. But at the beginning of the doc, they're showing her and her husband in the bodybuilding world, which is crazy because I worked in the like gym world. Now I'm so far removed from bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But I know those people that are just like live, eat, breathe bodybuilding. So they were like the it couple in bodybuilding. And then it was crazy. Like they were taking like, what was it? Like $30,000 worth of steroids.
Yeah. He was on 5 different types.
Yeah. At
a time. She would take one, but he took 5, a variety of steroids, and there was 5 different ones. Yeah. So when he was murdered, he had they did like the toxicology report.
Yeah, and he had 5 different types of
Yeah.
steroids. So she was driving down to Tijuana with her 2 kids and buying these, I guess you can buy steroids over the counter in Mexico. So she was buying them there. But because this was such an expensive habit, she ended up getting into these like subgenres of like making movies that were kind of like porn, but there was no sex. It was just her like strangling people with her thighs.
It was really funny. Yeah, their kink was like getting beat up.
Yeah, like powerful men that just wanted to get like wrestled around.
Yeah. I wasn't beat up.
They weren't like getting bloody. They were getting like wrestled.
Yeah. She just like hit them, like
she would like wrestle them around and like put them in a headlock. And like she had movies and stuff where she would just be like wrestling people or like wrapping her thighs around their head and like strangling them. But they like wouldn't actually get strangled. It was just like.
It was like a kink. They liked it.
Yeah. So that's how she was making her money. It sounded terrifying though, because it was like $300 a private session. So she would like meet people in hotel rooms and then like wrestle them.
I know. But I don't feel like it was scary for her.
She was very PTSD trauma because the way that she talked about stuff was very nonchalant and she would never cry.
I know.
In the documentary, she'd be like, I didn't really like it, but I had to make money. And
she was very flat.
I just did what I had to do.
Yeah.
And you could just tell that she had trauma and she was abused as a child. So she had a very violent home and she was like a super athlete.
Yeah.
And it was really impressive, like her athletic skills, but she didn't have like the financials to back up her like going to the Olympics or anything like that. Although she could have been like an Olympic athlete in diving.
I know, that was
track, and like she was an insane athlete.
Yeah, that was really sad when her friend was like, she could have gone to the Olympics, but it just goes to show you like,
if you don't have money or funding, like you're only going to get so far. You can't go, you can't like fly to the top, like
you can't train.
You can't go to like these Ivy League schools or like find the top coaches in the country and like train and not work and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So then then she meets this.
She joins
she has
the
2 children.
Marines.
She joins the Marines. She has 2 children. Her first husband's abusive too. So she's just like in this cycle of abuse. I felt so bad for her kids.
Oh my God, I felt horrible for them.
Her kids were just subjected to so much trauma.
Yeah.
But
she leaves the husband who's abusive to her and finds a new husband within 6 days.
Yeah. Is that the one that she ends up killing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and she just takes her kids, and it's weird in the documentary because she's like, I left him, he was abusive, we moved to the other side of the country, and then they just never bring up the dad again, and clearly the kids needed a dad because
but that dad didn't sound good because wasn't he abusive?
I know, but it's just But
then the new dad was so abusive, and the kids have all this trauma, and it's awful, and it honestly just breaks your heart for the conditions that children have, that they are that was the biggest crime to me that she committed, was the crime that like her children,
exposing her children to violence, so much
because
violence.
she was obsessed with her husband.
Yeah, she
like
was.
Anyway, you got to watch it, and if you have watched it, it raises a lot of really interesting points. She was obsessed with him, so she wouldn't have like. You could tell, like she was just.
Yeah. Well, he was cheating on her, and she was the type. So he would be cheating on her, and she would go up and beat up the woman and be like, "Stay away from my husband,"
and like just traumatizing for the kids. Again, like the kids are being subjected to a lot, and but I know when you're in an abusive relationship, you don't just leave. A lot of times, it's like.
Yeah. Well, she says in the thing, she said, I was so used to like
being abused. She didn't know any different.
Yeah.
And
by that point, she was like, it was just a normal way of being. She had been abused her entire childhood. Her first marriage was abusive. Her like, it's almost like how you would think of like yelling, like that her norm was like hit. Like hitting. Normally you get hit a few times a day.
Yeah. So it's really, but the interesting part was just, in the 90s, like how they treated women.
Yeah.
And
who fought back.
And like they were talking about like Lorena Bobbitt, who chopped her husband's penis off.
About that story. Yeah.
And like there was just a lot of, or even like, who was the one who her husband, his girlfriend, He was cheating on his wife with a teenager, and the teenager ended up Joey Buttafuoco. His girlfriend ended up shooting the wife in the face.
Yeah, and she lived.
They both ended up being like porn stars. Like they like love like this weird like woman gone wild. Yeah. Like basically villainizing women that are being abused and taken advantage of if they fight back and if they look a certain way that's like appealing for like 90s news.
Yeah, it's also sexy.
Yeah. So it was just like, it was really, even like if you think in the 90s how they covered like Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka case, like 2 serial killers who are honestly like the
even
most
hearing their
evil
names.
people in Canadian like crime history. So like they were called like the Barbie and Ken murder killers. It's just such a weird time.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that things seem to be like, even just how we like deal with domestic violence is hopefully getting better, because it's really insane how they would portray these women who were being abused.
Yeah, I know. It was a really weird time. Like the Sally Jesse Raphael, like everything was so salacious in the way that it was presented.
Yeah, very salacious.
And that's what Sally says, like, because they had so much material of her in like a bikini with like a big gun. And she said her story just became so against her. And she, I'll finish that thought. Her story was just, the whole media was just like, how do we feel sorry for this woman
who's been like strangle people with her thighs?
Exactly. But she did do...
Although her husband was probably like 100 pounds heavier than her at least.
Exactly. And the worst thing is one of the daughters, or the daughter, because she had a daughter and a son, was like, he's way too big to be... She's like, I know she's tough, but he's way too big to be hitting her.
I know. It was like, really sad when she... And this is not... like, this is all throughout the documentary. We're not spoiling anything, but it was so sad when she got taken into jail. And she had to say goodbye to her kids because they had to go to foster care.
That was horrible.
And one of the kids was like, the little boy, it was like, he was crying and he was like, can't you tell them it was self-defense? You were defending yourself. Like such a smart, sweet angel.
I know. He was like, Mom, I think that's a thing. I think you just told the lawyer that
this is him on night 1 saying this.
Know.
And the mom, I feel like she's had so much trauma that she was like, yeah, I think I'll tell them that. Like she just seemed so closed. And I think that's what shot her in the foot, because she never cried and she never got emotional. And I feel like some people, when they have trauma, they completely shut down and disassociate. And I felt like she disassociated during the whole trial. So when she
also took the stand. And
right. When
the lawyer was like, don't.
Yeah. And she said nothing on the stand, but I killed him.
And he knew the way. He was like, she comes off very cold, like you're saying. And
like
he was
she disassociates.
Yeah. So he's like, I knew she wouldn't do well on the stand. I told her not to go on the stand. And she says that as well. She's like, I wish I didn't do that. My lawyer told me not to do that. But people think that they can persuade, and it's just so
and she
technical.
Just didn't have that.
She didn't come across.
No.
Yeah. And he said most people can't. He said it's like normally not appropriate for, like that happened to Jodi Arias too. Jodi Arias took the stand and her lawyer didn't want. So Jodi Arias, if you guys aren't familiar, she killed her boyfriend in Arizona, and she was kind of popular again because she was sexy.
And
so people
and
liked
their
the
whole
story.
relationship in their court case was live, and it was all about their sex videos and their texts back and forth. So they had all these kinks. So people were just eating it up, which is just really sad because someone got stabbed to death.
Yeah, it was horrible for Travis's family. And she she took the stand, and it was horrible because she came off as such a psycho.
And she actually was psycho.
Yeah, she was terrifying.
Yeah.
And then remember, like,
I heard you're not allowed to say psycho anymore, but she was psychotic.
No,
that's an actual fact. That's not like,
we're not like saying like she got mad at the store, like what a psycho.
She was obsessed and literally went psychotic and stabbed someone to death, and then
I think in that
tried to just like move on and not tell anybody.
Yeah, I know. It was so sad. She's like, I'm just at my grandma's, and they're like, no, I think you were here.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, watch that documentary. Let us know what you think. It was very captivating.
It's good. I tried to stop watching it because I was getting too sad for the kids, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can. But then I would leave the room, and I'd be like, no, I need to figure out.
know what happens.
I know. I'm like, I need to know what happens.
Yeah,
it's
we won't
good.
spoil the end if you haven't seen it, but watch it right to the end.
Yeah, you got to watch till the end. It's good.
Yeah. Okay,
right, guys.
We're going to leave you with that. Have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.